for sponsors exclusively at roosterteeth.com. If you'd like more information and a 30-day free trial, please click the link below. Brandon, your fucking phone fucked it up right at the end. I never get it right the first time.
You are not going to get it right the second.
You are not coming back.
I'm so sorry.
Gus, I have a confession to make to you.
Well, this is going to be great if we're starting with this right off the bat.
So about 4 years ago.
Oh, wow. Going into the vault.
Yeah, you, Esther, and I, we went out to dinner. This cool place on
I don't
E6.
believe. This doesn't sound
calling
right.
bullshit on your story.
No. It happened. We ate, had some drinks, then we went to a bar kind of down the street. And then we went back to your house and started drinking some more.
Definitely a lie.
All kind of hanging out. No, this totally happened. Do you seriously not remember?
No, I don't remember this at all. Where did we eat?
I don't know, a place on E6.
Oh, that doesn't narrow it down.
So then we went back to your house, which this did happen, and started, kept drinking. And then maybe you remember now, I started getting kind of blown up on my texts.
Yeah.
And it was this girl who kept badgering me. So I was like, oh, hey, hold up. I need to go outside and take this call. And then I would come back in. And then 10 minutes later, I'd have to go back and then come back in and over and over and over. Well, it was actually no girl. I was going outside and throwing up next to your house because I was sick because of how much alcohol I drank. And I didn't want you to know that was it because I thought I would lose credibility.
I don't even remember hanging out with you.
Are you serious?
I don't think this
completely happened. Ask Esther.
I'm going to text her right now.
So you're just like, no, I'm just getting I've got to go check out my...
No, in fairness, I went in front of your neighbor's house. I was like, gosh, sorry, guys, I really got to go. And then I'd go out and I'd throw up some more and then come back.
Jesus. Why did you keep drinking?
I stopped at that point, but it was too late. I was gone. By the time that I got to your house and we had maybe one drink, I didn't drink anymore, but it was just downhill. I went out 4 or 5 times.
What kind of bully are you, Gus?
He's not. He wasn't pressuring me. I was just...
He wanted to keep up.
I didn't, yeah. This is my opportunity, and I didn't want to screw it up, or else we'd never hang out again outside.
How many times have we hung out again since then?
None. That was it.
He smelled like puke coming in. You know that he knew, and Esther had to have known. You came in, vomit on your shirt.
Well, apparently not, because he didn't remember it. So.
I don't remember.
Really I thought you just thought it was rude, because I kept going out, and I have to be oh, this girl, I call this girl, she's going crazy.
I have no memory of that. Zero.
Wow.
That's your importance, Brandon.
That
scale of things
hurts in ways that I can't really put into words.
He's been waiting 4 years.
If it makes you feel any better, I never hang out with anyone. So you blew it. Obviously, yeah. I don't even remember hanging out with you. That's what little of an impression you left on me.
We hung out once, Gus.
I remember that.
We hung out.
It was a good time.
You remember that?
Yeah. That was we had roast.
Why? Why do you remember Aaron and not me?
Because he wasn't constantly going outside.
That's true. I threw up at the table like a man. And go outside in the bushes like an asshole.
Man, it's gonna bug me now.
Text her right now.
I don't want to get distracted.
This
in the
absolutely
middle
happened.
of a good story. No, I don't believe you.
You believe I make it? I don't think I dreamed it.
That's really
Maybe
weird.
you did.
Oh God, that's scary. Scary to think maybe some of your memories aren't real. You just remembering them. Does that make sense?
Well, I've had that where people are telling stories, and then I'm and they've told the story multiple times, so then I start putting myself in
You do that
the
all the
story.
time with me. You always you'll start a story, and I'll be like, dude, that's my story. I've told you that 2 years ago, and you're like, oh yeah. And so you do that all the time.
Well, it's someone tells you a story multiple. It's I feel like I was there.
That's a phenomenon. You know what? And I hate to say this, that happens with married couples a lot. I think I'm hanging around you too much. If that's happening, we're hanging out way too much.
The thing I always wonder is I always forget if I've had a conversation with someone. There's 3 states for me. Did this happen in a dream or real life? And then I guess there are only 2 states. And then did it happen in real life? And did I tell it on the podcast or did I not tell it on the podcast? Because sometimes I'll start telling a story on the podcast and be like, I think I told this already. Then you get into it no, wait, I haven't. This is a new one.
I mean, that's a lot of hours of talking. Who knows? If you're gonna have this happen, sometimes I'll start telling Paula about this story, and I'll get 30 seconds in, 45 seconds in, and then after I'm done, she'll just be like, I was there for that.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah.
Or it's that was your ex-girlfriend, Brandon. And you're like, oh yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
And then you move on.
Yeah.
right?
Memory's the worst.
I feel like, yeah, as
She's accepted it though that I'm not going to remember most of our relationship.
see, so you shouldn't be mad that I forgot our relationship.
No, that's
entirely.
different. That was the one time. I
Yeah.
thought it meant
Yeah, I think
something.
it's the same thing.
Or at least I thought it was a reason why you weren't hanging out with me
No,
anymore.
well, maybe that's the
It's just
positive to
completely
take from
indifferent.
it. Right. Is that it's not that you offended me or that I was upset. It's just that I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's worse. That's way worse.
That being said, you can probably remember the sides I had with my roast beef. You know what
I
they
want
were.
to say there was broccoli,
Yes.
and I want to say there might have been mashed potatoes.
Who is a better friend with Gus? The mashed potatoes broccoli guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Team MPB.
Fucking congratulations, Aaron. I'm going to go throw up now.
No, you're gonna get a text and you're gonna leave.
Someone proposed to me over the weekend saying that there should be between the hours of like 3 and 4 or maybe 2 and 4 there should be chaos hours, so anything goes on the
What?
road.
Are you talking about like the purge? But
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly what I was
it's
thinking.
like
of.
on a nightly basis.
But he called it chaos hours. I think it would just be on Fridays and Saturdays. But basically, as soon as 2 a.m. hits, it's chaos hours, and you can do whatever on the roads. You just go crazy, you drive crazy, blah, 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 blah. I think he was trying to get around like DUI stuff, but I took it to a further level. It's like, oh man, you'd race around and do all this. And he's like, yeah, it'd be chaos hours. And I was thinking,
So you can't like burn down buildings.
no.
Okay.
Let's
just
keep
on
it
the road.
Just
Just
on the road.
You can burn down cars.
Yes.
Yeah, if they're
Not
driving.
buildings. Yeah, and I was like, man, chaos hour sounds like fun. Because if you don't want to participate, you don't participate. But if you happen to be out,
But like not every night, like once a year.
I said
Like
Fridays and-
Halloween.
No, what
no,
if,
no, no,
like-
Fridays and Saturdays.
No.
What if it's
once
like
a year?
you're at home and your wife goes into labor during chaos hour?
You better have a big fucking truck.
you gotta like Mad Max it.
Yeah, you gotta Mad Max it. You have to have that vehicle that's just for chaos hours.
Maybe there's like a chaos Uber.
Yeah.
Or, like,
Well,
extreme-
not in Austin. You can't get a. You know, you'd have to get a chaos,
Chaos Uber's okay.
Get me or whatever.
Regular Uber's not.
Yeah. But you'd have this, you could choose between car, SUV, and then this thing with just like spikes coming out of it, and you're like, yeah, chaos hour. You pick the chaos
Oh,
car.
I'd take monster truck.
Yeah, monster
Yeah,
truck.
that'd be awesome.
So
Yeah.
people are following up on your story, Brandon. They said that apparently all 4 people.
I had a buddy who used to get stoned all the time. He wanted to be a space lawyer. And what he wanted to do is he wanted to have his own little space station and be around whenever, I guess, international, space capsules ran into each other and stuff like that. He wanted to be a space ambulance chaser.
That's what I was gonna say.
swear to God.
Fight. So your space lawyer stoner friend brings up an interesting point. If a fight breaks out on the space station between like a Russian cosmonaut and an American astronaut, like who's
Someone
the police?
needs-
Right. Like what country has jurisdiction over?
whichever space station they're in.
Well,
ISS. It's international
It's whatever.
space. Oh.
It's whatever
Oh.
the mission. Whoever's running the mission.
Wait,
right?
what?
Or-
You're saying what module they're in?
No, he said the space station, but
I was like, are
It's
they on a
international.
U.S.?
Whatever the case is, my buddy Peavy's going to pull up in his space Honda hatchback, right up to the dock, come in with his tie loose, and just be like, "Who needs a lawyer? He doesn't speak like that, but he's
I
like
thought
ready."
I thought you meant it's like whoever built that specific module that the
Oh,
fight
that'd get
happened in.
complicated.
Like,
They get really complicated.
No, I forget. I don't know how they do it. But
there is a. I know no one listening to this podcast has made this because this is way too fast. There is a page on Wikipedia about space jurisdiction.
oh
Yes!
my god.
With subcategories of trade in space, space marriage, and the future of space jurisdiction.
If my buddy wouldn't have gotten so stoned all the time and stayed in school, he would have been that space lawyer. Now he's just a simple. He works in the towers directing air traffic control.
It's terrifying.
I totally forgot about that. He should not be in those towers. He is in a tower right now directing airplanes.
Well, he sounds like a
It's-
chill kind of guy.
Oh, he's very chill.
That's what you got to be. That's
And
like
if
a high
like the
pressure
planes
job.
are doing their thing and they're not close to each other, just let them go. That's
let 'em
probably
be.
be his deal.
Then once they bump, then he's
as
air lawyer.
soon as soon as that accident happens, I tell you he's back in law school. He's just back in law school studying space law.
All right, here I'm gonna read. So we circled, and then it got to a point, and I could see like in my weather app, like there was a red thunderstorm, and it was moving, and there was like another red cell that was moving in. So it was like a little gap of green, and then like
God.
right around then the captain comes on. It's like, all right, there's a little break in the weather.
Done it.
We're gonna try and ride it. I was like, oh shit! I was like, I normally never get nervous on a plane, but I was like, this is bad. Like this is bad.
I think the worst I ever heard was like we were doing that same thing, kind of circular, or we were getting in a rough patch, and the pilot just came on and goes, seatbelts. And that was like, and we were all like, what did did he just say seatbelt? And he didn't say anything else after that. And it's just like, you saw the thing go on and we're like, I guess we're going to die.
Who doesn't put on their have their seatbelt on all the time?
I don't wear my seatbelt.
Why?
all the time. I'm just hanging out.
A lot of times you go to the bathroom and you don't put it back on because it's
Yeah.
Why?
And it's too much
You know what
pressure
could
on
happen?
here for too long.
And also, what
You could like just there's a whole number of things that could happen where.
I've got a great story about this. Let me find it.
if the
Go
plane's
ahead.
going down, my seatbelt's not going to
No,
do
no, no. It's
shit.
not an issue of going down. It's like if there's just a slight bump, like relatively, forceful, you can go up in the air and hit yourself on the top of the plane.
I did hit the ceiling.
Or
one
if shit
time.
really happens and the plane's like kind of losing control, not just completely crashing, losing control, you're going to be rolling around all over the plane, just crazy doing like somersaults.
Well, then, if the plane's going down, that's what I'm saying. If the plane's going down, I'm dying anyway.
no. Planes go down all the time and they're
he's the
fine.
one guy that gets killed
They
during
recover.
bad weather. Like there's always like one person. It's just the seatbelt guy. It's the guy that refuses to wear a seatbelt.
I'm not.
You'd be
refusing-
surprised how often horrible things happen
There's
while
a
you're
reason
flying
they
and they
let
recover.
you know. There's a reason they get on the intercom saying seatbelts.
Seatbelts.
Well, when they do that, normally that's a signal for the flight attendants to go and check and remind everyone to put their seatbelts on. There was a flight recently, I think it was a flight from Abu Dhabi to Indonesia, that encountered such severe turbulence that it broke overhead bins, spilled everything into the aisle, and 9 people had to go to the hospital. And I've got a few pictures of it. I don't know if we can pull it up. So it's like, you can see there's like lids from the bins on there. All the shit there is just spilled out. And
Yeah, they have a whole protocol
Could you
they go
imagine
through.
being on that when all of a sudden your suitcase falls? Like that's.
There's a lot worse that's going to happen in that plane than your suitcase falling.
Yeah, but I've been through like heavy turbulence where you're like you get nervous, you're like, ugh. But if things are breaking,
right, like
Everyone's-
pieces of the plane are like
Are
falling
falling
down.
off.
Everyone's
Right.
seeing
Yeah.
your sex toys burst out of your suitcase. Yeah. There's got to be some other place though that's like there's no reason. There should
Bars-
not be a toilet.
Bars are like the worst for me. Like if I go out to a bar, I become stressed that I might have to take a dump at that bar.
What?
Right, like I'm worried. Like, what if something happens and I need to take a dump? Like,
You scope the bar out beforehand,
there
you
is
check
no
this bathroom, be like, all right.
There is no reason you should ever have to take a dump at a bar.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Right.
There's no reason.
And I'm always worried that something's going to come up and I might have to.
I think
I
there is. a good
have
reason,
two
though.
stories about that, both involving the same person.
Yeah.
I have one friend who took a dump. My friend comes out of the bar, or he comes up to me at the bar and he's like, "Hey, you know how you always like see those like you go into a public toilet, and you're like, who shit on the wall?" Like, you're like, how
Yeah,
did that
right.
happen?
I know who this
You walk
is.
into that toilet, you're like, how did this happen? He was like, I have the answer, and it came out of my ass. He was like,
This is our buddy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, he goes. Wait, he was seriously,
yeah. So anyway, so he's like, I just really had to take a dump, and like the toilet seat was so nasty, and there was like I didn't know what like I just had to go, so he just squatted and just like let it loose.
Wait. There's a difference between squatting
Like
and letting it loose so that it ends up on the floor. And there's a difference between squatting and letting it loose so it ends up on a wall. That's like
Yeah.
bent over,
I think it
asshole
was
facing
just.
the wall.
I think it was just like he just bent and just like let it go. I went into the toilet.
Why did he?
I went into the toilet afterwards. It looked like a shit man had been slaughtered.
So wait,
like
was it behind the toilet or above?
It was
did
just like-
did
it was
he
just
arc
like-
it?
I just imagine you cutting a shit man's jugular, and you're just like, oh.
But it was just there was shit on the toilet. There was shit on the whatever the front of the toilet is.
His
and on
picture's
the
like a
floor
perfect
and on the-
rainbow
It was
arcing
just like
through the bathroom.
it was. I mean, it was just like a bomb.
I wish that we could find him and ask him to like physically recreate the position he was in.
His palms had to have been on the floor. Like he had to have been face pitched forward. This is like JFK
That's exactly
or
what I'm
something.
thinking.
Yeah.
It's like the magic shit is what it is. But he had to have been like, bear with me here. This is the toilet. He had to have been
Aaron,
Like that's what I imagined.
yeah.
like that.
I
maybe?
don't know how. I mean,
I wish there was a reason why CSI had to go in there and like chart it and be
like Dexter's like like no the splatter
splatter.
marks.
But the same friend, another time we were having this bachelor.
So we were at a
Yeah.
bachelor party.
and this friend.
So
I guess
so me and Aaron
Yeah.
drove. It was
to New Orleans.
We went to New Orleans. We drove to New Orleans.
I was almost there the other day.
Yeah, you almost landed.
Everyone
there.
else who didn't drive took a bus.
And on this bus, they had certain. This buddy had certain
Dozens and dozens of
pot cookies, basically.
Yeah.
And he was the only one who really ate them. Like these are.
So it was like a 10-hour bus ride?
No, it's like 4 hours. And so
Wait,
no,
is it
New
from
Orleans?
Houston?
yeah, it's like oh no, it's 7 hours or something.
It's long.
Yeah.
or whatever.
Whatever.
But anyway, these apparently, our friends of ours had like a cookie each, and they were out of their minds. Our buddy had 13 cookies, and he was sitting there like this when we got to New Orleans.
And because me and Aaron were like, we just drove and we were
Yeah,
fine.
we drove.
We're like,
we came
let's
in,
go
we're
to
like, yeah,
Bourbon
let's
Street.
go.
Yeah.
You know what? And he was just like, And so we're like, okay, well, maybe we go do something like a little low key first.
But we go to Bourbon Street.
Yeah, we go to Bourbon Street anyway, and we end up at the
What was it? Bachelor party. So we're gonna end up
go
at
to
a
the strip club, right? And so we're at the strip club, and we're at this like kind of off to the side room thing. And as we're
The
sitting,
champagne room?
sort of, it's kind of like a cordon off like VIP area thing, right?
What were you guys doing there?
Just hanging out. And anyway, so we're sitting there, and we see all these people
Oh,
walking.
our friend disappears.
Our friend disappears
for a while.
Cookie guy.
long
Yeah,
time
yeah,
cookie
yeah,
guy,
yeah. 13 cookie
cookies. And as we're sitting in this section, all these people are walking by, like showing each other their phones and laughing, and they're like pointing at this thing.
Oh,
And we're
no.
like, man, what's going on? What's going on? All these people are walking by in this steady stream, looking at these pictures. So I go up to one of them. I was like, hey, what's going on? And they go, you got to go to the bathroom. You got to see this guy.
God.
And we're like, okay. So as we're walking, we're like, oh man, no. We go into the bathroom. First of all, here's the bathroom. The door's always open, right? And the door faces the main stage. So a stripper can look directly into the bathroom.
They don't have doors on strip. Like
Yeah, they don't-
There's no door on the
They
stall,
don't put
right?
doors on the stalls because people, like, to keep people from doing drugs. It's just like
Right.
not
They don't put doors
hanging
on the
out.
stalls, but also people were keeping the door to the bathroom open because of the spectacle that was in there. And so all of the dancers from the stage, they were just looking in the bathroom and seeing exactly what was going on.
He was just he walked about. He's standing in the bathroom naked.
Completely naked.
Well, not completely naked because he had his shirt pulled up like this.
Yeah, but completely naked from the waist down. And he's sitting on the toilet.
he's standing.
Oh, was he? He was standing in a spraying position again, and just sitting there. And and everyone's taking pictures of him as he's trying to go to the bathroom. And they're like, they're laughing and sharing it. And all the dancers are like pausing, like to look. And they're like, everyone's naked, basically looking at him. And like I think even the announcer was getting into it. It's like, don't go in the bathroom. We got a special in there, and all this stuff. And yet again, he was causing bathroom ruckus.
And it's
in
like,
there.
what do you like? I'm going to change his name to protect the innocent. Bartley. Bartley, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, I'm just cooling off, guys. It's hot in here.
I just
How are
need to
those
cool
pictures-
off. What are you guys doing in the stall? And we're like, dude, you're not in a stall. You're in a toilet that's out in the middle of the open.
How did those pictures not end up on Reddit?
I think it's.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
No, he wasn't covered with shit though.
No,
No,
he
not
wasn't.
at that
He was
point,
just
I don't think.
naked.
That's another place you shouldn't shit.
At a strip
At a
club.
strip club.
Because also they got those guys in there like taking the money, and like that's just awkward because he's just waiting outside of the stall door, waiting for you to come out and give him $1.
Do you think like you could be in there and be like, hey man, I'll tip you like $5 if you just make farting sounds with your hands right now while I'm in here. That way it doesn't you can't hear me. It doesn't sound so bad.
No, it's even you're in the stall and you're like, hey man, I got some money for tip, and you hold it underneath the stall while you're still going to the bathroom and see if he'll take it. Just be like, it was $5. Yeah, but that was our friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be more things. But here's what happened. There was this. I was doing the thing, and I tried to get this one guy, but he moved away from me right as my nose went, and he started walking off to. So this bar has a ton of. It's long, it's big, it's a huge place, and so I was like, that guy just got away from me, and by that point I was so drunk and so obsessive about it that I was like, I got to get him. So I start following him through the bar, and he's walking,
Aaron.
Yeah, I know. It's
the
crazy.
bathroom, and then-
no, he didn't go to the bathroom. He was walking all the way to the back, And the thing is there are a lot of little nooks and crannies in there. So every time he'd slow down to take another turn to get towards the passengers in the back, I'd almost have him, but then he'd keep going. So anyway, he gets to the back. He finally gets to the back. He's looking at his phone and he's like getting a drink or whatever and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, here, I got him. So I go up and I touch him just like that. And he doesn't notice and he's just like that. I was like, yeah. And so as I turned, his buddy, who I guess he was going to meet, saw me and just looked at me. He didn't even say anything. He didn't go, what was that, or anything.
Did it look like you were smelling him?
No, it didn't look as normal as smelling someone. It looked like I touched him with my nose. And then the guy who I touched turns around and sees his friend staring at me, and we were just all kind of looking at each other. And I go, thanks. And I walk off and I go away. Like, that was my segue.
I have an update. I asked Esther about this time we hung out, and she says definitively, vaguely, yes.
Ask Esther.
All periods, no exclamation points.
Ask her what
vaguely, yes.
I had for my sides
No,
on our
I'm not
lovely
gonna do
dinner.
that. It's gonna
And I
make
bet
me-
she I bet she not only gets them right, I bet she knows whether I use butter on the broccoli or on the potatoes. I know the answer.
Man, I had the I had the funniest text from my mom ever. I'm gonna read it.
Okay.
All right, give me a second.
All right.
All right, here, let me read this while
Yeah.
you.
Okay, so context for this: I recently had a death in my family, and then my mom texted me this randomly. No context, just did you take a shower with a guy in a video?
It's a good start.
And I knew what she was talking about on my personal YouTube thing. I did a stupid video of how to take a shower, and there was a bit in there where I'm like, and if there are those hard to reach places, you might need help, and then someone pops into frame behind me as if we were taking a
Brad.
shower. Yeah,
Yeah.
as if it's just a stupid joke. And so I was like, not actually, pretend, Mom. That's what movies are. That was my response to her. And then these are all other relatives that I'm listing. She said, this is what I assumed, but Justin was a little confused. Said Mindy's Josh told him about it, and there was some speculation as to the authenticity of the video.
Oh my god.
He asked me if you liked girls. I don't want to be.
Oh no.
I don't. I don't want to be the last to know if there's something to know about my children.
Oh.
Would you be a pallbearer?
Whoa.
One text.
Now that they cleared that, gotten that situation taken care of.
And then it wasn't in the category of porn, was it?
Oh, that's
So,
fantastic.
My mom asked me if I was gay, if I would be a pallbearer for the death of my family, and if I had done porn. And
I like her. She's like, of course it's not. But
and I was like,
it?
no, it was a comedy video, Mom. She goes, is that a no to the pallbearer?
That's so great.
aren't you glad I stopped you from putting out that one RT Life video?
Yeah.
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 You should leave that hanging out there.
Yeah, so we are.
Oh my
It's up to
god.
Chris.
He said we're to leave it hanging out
No,
there.
but it's one of those things too where it's like, I remember in high school, my mom came up to me at one point and she was like, I just want to, she asked me if I was gay, and I was like, no. And she's like, it's okay if you are. I don't care. I love you anyway, but I just want to know. It's like, why do you think I'm gay? It's like, you never bring girls around. It's like, yeah, because I'm
Protecting them from you.
Yeah. It's like, if I'm going to hang out with a girl, I'm not going to bring her home to where I shared a room with my little brother. I'm going to that's not a good. Yeah.
My brother Lynn, I never brought women around either, to family things, and the family started asking him is Aaron, is he and I thought it was so funny that they wouldn't even say it. They're just like and Lynn was like, yeah he is. He absolutely is, and he has been for a while. He's scared to tell you guys. And I hadn't gone to a family thing in a year or two or something like that, and so every time they kept asking, they'd ask Lynn well, has Aaron found someone yet or whatever, and no, he hasn't. He's looking for the right guy, and stuff like that, and they're like, okay, all right, well, whatever. So fast forward a couple years, I show up for a Thanksgiving, and they're like, Aaron, so you met anybody lately? And I was like, I mean, no, not really. I've been really busy, and I haven't been dating much. So they're like,
Busy with my roommate.
Yeah, they're like, where do you like to go to meet people? And I was like, I mean, you go to bars, you go to libraries, and or whatever. And they're like, well, you go to any kind of like, I don't know, special bars? And I was like, yeah. Sometimes I go to theme nights or whatever. And they're like, oh, okay, so theme nights. All right. Well, do you go to like cowboy type things, or maybe maybe it's a village people thing? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'd go to that. That sounds awesome, And they're just. I never knew, and it went like it was a couple. It was probably Thanksgiving and Christmas that I had no idea that they were thinking that. And then when I found out, like I was like, man, should I just keep it going or what? Because I don't care, either way. And I was like, man, maybe I should. And then I don't think I ever cleared it up. But yeah, that's my great brother there. It's really funny.
That's what brothers are for.
That's what he's for. Yeah, absolutely. I just thought it was so good.
That's what I like about Lynn is he will instantly like validate any question.
He jumps on
Anytime someone asks him something, is this happen? He'll
yeah, without hesitation. So my brother does streaming with some people might know him. He streams with John quite often or whatever, and yeah, man, he commits to a bit unlike anyone I've ever seen, to where like you will get lost in the truth so quickly, and he just loves it. I wish I could think of it. You may know an example.
Well, like that time, I think we told this story in a podcast wherever your landlord was trying to show your apartment.
Right. And he said I was in...
and they're like, we couldn't get a hold of Aaron, and you were listed the emergency number. What happened to Aaron? He was like, oh yeah, he's in jail.
Yeah, he's in prison. Sorry. Yeah. And they thought that, and they started moving on getting rid of my apartment. Like they started busting into all, like it's always stuff like that where like I can't. And the thing is I can't leave. Well, and now Blaine's roped into this because Blaine was recently out of town, and he said, Aaron, I'm gonna be out of town for a little bit. Make sure Lynn doesn't break into my apartment. And I said, dude, I can't promise that. I mean, he might. Like, it depends if he's bored or not. If he's bored, then your apartment might as well just leave the door open.
You got to print out like a picture of his face with the international no symbol over it. Like, leave it on the door.
It's funny too because when you were gone during South by Southwest, and I was like, hey, because we had a friend coming into town to visit, and I was like, hey, and he was asking to crash at my place. I was like, Aaron's out of town. Why don't we just? I was like, texted Aaron. I was like, hey, can so and so crash at your place? He's like, no, I don't have the key with me, but Lynn can open it.
Yeah, Lynn can open it.
He can break into it.
Yeah, Lynn has all the lock picking stuff and all that stuff. Like he can get into anything. It's scary. So we got locked out of the YMCA. Like we were, going to the gym or something like that. And he locked his keys in his car. He went to the YMCA and he got, what did he get? He got maybe a coat hanger or something. And within 5 minutes, he broke into his own cop car. Like, I mean, he's not a cop, but he owns a cop car, and he broke into it immediately without even thinking. He's like, all right, let's go home. And I was like, you're out of line. Also, everyone thinks he's my older brother. He's my younger brother, just so you know.
Oh, I thought it was over.
Yeah, right.